That works.
It works. It wasn't exactly the right intro since this is my normal time slot. That was for Monday night.
Jim stole my show Monday night.
That's right. You were preempted by something else cool. I really wanted to say cooler, but I didn't. I mean, just pretend I said cooler, and let's move on.
Maybe.
Maybe. Good morning, people.
Good morning.
We did something a little new this morning. We did several new things.
We did.
So yeah, we did. Mike N2MAK had a premiere, and we did a redirect from Mike over here. So welcome to all the N2MAK peoples that showed up.
Hey,
Although
Pamela.
I feel, Mike, that they're probably about the same set of people generally, but
lots of overlap.
Yeah, lots of overlap. I feel that they're, Mike, and I say this for my people and TO's and yours for sure, all three of us. These are the elite people who don't hate FT8 and don't hate YouTube and don't think YouTubers are stupid because they're
aren't afraid of new technology
for a radio company. Oops.
Sorry. Right.
Yeah, and aren't afraid of technology.
Did you let that slip out?
It might have slid out. Anyway, so up front, it was a lame thumbnail this week. It was a lame show post. I apologize. We had no electricity yesterday for 12 hours. The power went out about 4:30 and didn't come on till 4:30. And
Jim was doing science yesterday.
Well, mistakes were made. I'm just saying, hopefully.
The fire department was called. Luckily, they're all his old friends.
Yeah.
And we're going to let this one slide.
So there's no paperwork on the incident at this time. Doc Brad, thank you for the, at this time. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Doc's getting the offering plate going around. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. And while we're doing housekeeping, Christopher Schulte says, good morning all from Ontario, Canada. No, I said Schulte on purpose, and I think he'll recognize that. It's it's his hockey player name. Everything ends in a Y when you join the team.
That's the Australians do that too, because Hayden was telling me he was going to a footy the other day.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't
that's what
really
they call
need to
football.
know what you and Crystal are doing, Hayden. No one, it's private. And then I insulted him on top of it because I assumed incorrectly that footy was an Aussie word for soccer. Because, the Europeans call soccer football, inappropriately, I might add. And sorry, Elodie, good morning to you. And
that's three.
And then Hayden was like, no, mate, nah, mate. I heard him saying it in my head. Nah, mate, Australian rules football. I can't do the accent.
The good kind.
Yeah. He said, we actually use our feet with it. I'm like, okay.
Apparently no padding and lots of kicks to the groin.
Apparently. Kind of like, what is that, rugby?
Yeah.
Is apparently kind of similar. Let's see, Mr. Ken, good morning, sir. Been a member for 12 months. Thank you very much. Yeah, we had rain yesterday. It's going to be raining today. There will be no radioing today because we got thunderstorms coming. Jason Lockwood has been a member for 6 months, and apparently he is a ramp rat or he is ramp ratting today. And I would not want to be a ramp rat outside today.
Not in Alabama. Not in Texas either.
Oh, and Elodie said rugby is her game. So, okay.
I believe Australian rules football is soccer because Australia does play rugby also.
Yeah, I don't really know. And Hayden posted a picture on Twitter.
Julian Bonner here too. We're up to 4 ladies today, Jim.
4 ladies. That is awesome. So, anyway.
That I have seen. There may be more.
Right.
Don't want to shortchange anybody.
But it was, no air conditioning. And fortunately, it wasn't super hot yesterday. We had fans. I had plenty of battery power from power stations and whatnot. So,
high volume.
With an electric stove, it's kind of awkward to try and cook.
Yeah.
So we celebrated the first day of the weekend by me going to get Taco Bell for everybody. That was it last night. We planned
Seems
to
like
have
a good Easter feast, Pentecostal feast.
We planned to have pulled pork and mac and cheese and the whole thing, and that obviously didn't happen with no electrics. So Darren is calling us out and saying Aussie rules is so not soccer. Yeah.
It's not? Is it?
No, Hayden clearly made that. It's not soccer.
Or is he saying that his soccer is better than our soccer, which I will agree to?
I don't like.
But I was just talking for the Muggles, letting them understand what sport we were actually talking about. Because football has two different meanings. There's the U.S. meaning, and then everybody else's meaning.
And then everybody else. That's right. That's right. Lon mentions that he has a butane cassette stove for emergencies. Well, I mean, I've got an induction burner that I could have plugged into a power station. But again, it's hard to cook a meal with one pan on an induction burner. So, and as none of this was ready for camping, Taco Bell was a whole lot faster and easier. Scout is saying that Aussie football is oddly named. Oh, the comment moves.
Oh, rugby with extra violence. Okay.
There aren't rules. It's like a cross between rugby.
I was wrong.
And smear the slur.
I can admit that I'm not from Australia.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I told Hayden I'm an ignorant American, man. We think everybody who talks about football who's not American is talking about soccer. So
yes. See?
Straight up.
Thank you, Darren.
No metric. Imperial only.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so that was my evening. I had to post the show from the phone. I was like, well, we'll get something up there so it'll work.
We're proud that we fought a war against the Empire. So proud that we still use imperial measurements.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And we won. The greatest navy in the world at the time, and Vine Vide Vice. Anyway, so how are you this morning, Steve? How you returned from Hamvention okay?
I did. It was a uneventful trip home, which was nice. We drove around all the tornadoes that were outbreaking Sunday night, Monday morning.
Oh.
So we made it home in 2 days. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like a 16-hour drive, which is just long enough to make it a 2-day trip. Like 1 hour into the 2-day mark.
I've done 12 and do not recommend. And honestly, the older I get, Dayton is becoming nearly a 2-day drive because it's just a long drive. Anyway, well, so what time zone are you in if you're allowed to tell us?
Central.
Okay. So you're going to be
God's
Central
time.
for a while, or are you going to be moving
Yeah, I'll be
again?
Central until Arizona.
Okay.
And then Arizona celebrates its own time zones.
Right. Well, I saw, that's right, Jimmy, all restaurants will be Taco Bell. I understand the reference. And shout out to Jimmy for bringing in the first movie reference of the show. So that's great. Well, so I guess the first thing I want to get off the board is this is Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. And on Memorial Day weekend, on Memorial Day, which is Monday, we honor the fallen from the military services who have given their lives in battle. So enjoy all the sales, enjoy the barbecue. Just remember what the day is for. It's not for veterans. That's in November. And
Right.
It's not in July. That's Independence Day. That's when we told Great Britain, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
I worked for
Memorial
a
Day
veteran-owned business that did not take Veterans Day off. That was weird.
Wow, that was weird. So anyway, and there are multiple organizations that you can support that support veterans' families and help families that have lost their loved ones through combat, through war, whatever. My wife got me this cup, and you guys have seen this before. This is the Folded Flag organization. And then there's also Wounded Warrior for veterans who made it back but are injured from the whole thing. So there's multiple ways to support veterans. And it's something I'm proud of, and I hope you guys are too. All right. I should have saved that for the end, I guess. That was a little kind of a bummer, maybe, but
A little bit of a down note.
and well, it was. But I get a little honked off. I get a little old man shaking his fist kind of thing about people who don't understand or don't know what the holiday's about. Memorial Day is not to celebrate barbecue and the first day of summer. That's not what it's for.
Let's do like a birthday or a who passed their ham test thing to bring it back up again.
Right. Who passed their ham test? There
was a lot of people wearing the "I passed" sticker at Dayton Hamvention, which was pretty cool. Then I can recognize that they just passed, and something to talk about and congratulate them and everything. So
I said it as folds of honor. Yeah. So just FYI, for those of you who don't know, if you get a flag like this, it means somebody has died. This gets presented to you by the military. So anyway, all right. So Hamvention was pretty cool. We talked about this a little bit Monday night with Dennis and Boston Johnny. What did you do anything at Hamvention except be a booth?
I worked. I worked for the man. Yeah.
Yep. Fluff in the booth.
It was packed.
Steve was the hot chick at the radiolity booth.
I was. Between me and Lou.
They can't afford a real hot chick. So you guys,
it was absolutely mob. Most people came up to me and were like, "Yeah, you were like 9 people deep in line, and I didn't want to bug you, so I came back later, and you were still 9 people deep in line." Yeah, it was. Everybody that I talked to that was running a booth said that people were buying. Stuff was flying. It was good. So that's a good sign.
The numbers came out this week: 37,000 attendees, which I was a little surprised about because it didn't feel that busy to me, but I don't know.
You were in the dark corner of the Hamfest, yeah.
Yeah, we're over in the weird newish area for the flea market, so we didn't really
They don't let people like you into the main show.
Right. I'm not allowed in the buildings anymore. There was an incident, and
we don't talk about it.
Yeah, there was an incident. Done. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't really get out and see that much. Dennis and I went walkabout once for a little bit, and I really wasn't planning to buy anything anyway. I brought stuff to sell, got rid of some of it, ended up bringing the big heavy stuff back home, which was not what I wanted to do, but I still had a nice time, and I enjoy the fest. So
Glenn, they've got a restraining order against you. They won't let you go. You're welcome in my book.
They saw him playing football, and they decided he was a little sketchy for.
Which one of the 3 types of football was he playing?
Well, since he's an Aussie, I'm guessing he was playing Aussie rules football, and they said, no, we cannot let him in the country. Glenn, I'd love to meet you, dude, in person. We've talked Zoom and YouTube a bunch of times, but Sarah is heading to the Green Bay Ham Fest. This is the time to go to the Green Bay Ham Fest. It's not freaking cold.
Right.
How big is that, Sarah? Is it a fairly large crowd or what? Elodie dropped a 5-pound super chat. Today is recovery day. Got home at 3 a.m. from doing a community event for nearly a 24-hour day. And she is
doubly thank you, Elodie.
Elodie, appreciate it.
Thanks for doing the community event. Thanks for supporting the show.
And let's see. Glenn said he's going to come one year. He has to show his social media accounts at Customs. I thought I've heard that.
Remember,
I didn't know. If
everything you take home with you is something you brought with you, whether it's something you brought with you or not.
Right.
That's a trick I learned from my Canadian friends.
It's a trick I learned from my ex-wife. So Steve, what interesting hammy things are you up to this week? What's going on?
There's always something interesting. This week, I'm waiting on. You can now buy an air conditioner on Amazon, so that should arrive on Tuesday, and then hopefully it gets in early Tuesday morning, and I can get it installed because 90 degrees in Texas without 2 air conditioners in an RV does not work.
Oh, I can imagine. Little housekeeping. Gene, thank you. Pentecost Sunday offering, $10 super chat.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everybody, the ladies are keeping that plate moving. So y'all don't, I'm just saying, the ladies are representing.
Don't let them show you up.
That's right. Yeah, new TSA Fed rules. I thought I had read that. I thought it was stupid. I remember when they said they could search your laptop if you were within, I don't know, 100 miles of the border either direction, which I thought was pretty sketchy. But
well, if you go through New Mexico and Arizona, there are border crossings, I don't know, every 100 or so miles, about 200 or 300 miles from the actual border. So, they're doing a really good job of enforcing that.
Right. 45 said AC is for the weak.
Okay, well, you come sit in the sweat box with me, 4-5.
T.O.'s doing Texas, it for his wife. It's to keep Mrs. T.O. happy. Happy wife, happy life, right?
Right.
Kind of thing. So back to what other ham things have you got going on this week? Any interesting projects?
I have more Redivis radios to repair. That's going to be the big thing, because I want to get them all fixed and back out to regain the floor space that I need. Mm-hmm. So, didn't get anything new at Dayton, so we'll be working on that. Mark is sending in another Boondock Echo, so we're going to do some videos on the Boondock Echo, which is like a ham radio answering machine, is the easiest way to say it. It'll record and parse and alert take action based off of keywords heard over the airwaves. It doesn't have to be ham radio. It can be any kind of radio. So it has, ramifications for emergency communications at the county level, all kinds of stuff you can do with it. And he's got this thing where you just plug like a regular Uniden Bearcat scanner in and just let it scan and listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a cool application of it. I think it's an interesting device. I don't really particularly, it's just one more gadget that I would have that would collect dust that I would eventually sell or something, but I still think it's a cool device. I just have to rein myself in because I end up with too many gadgets.
I think it would work really well in my RV scenario, because most of the repeater outputs all across the country are the same channels. And if you don't put a PL tone on, you can hear them all regardless of whether they have a PL tone or not, because that's how PL tones are kind of opposite privacy. I am now not able to hear you anymore, but I can hear myself. Right. So I'll be able to detect local repeaters that are in the area. Because if you go on Repeater Book, it's not a Repeater Book problem. Repeater Book's awesome. But if you go on Repeater Book in a new town and you start programming in repeaters, there's an even 75% chance that they're dead. That is true, Matt.
Absolutely true. And John has got to go tend his butt on the smoker. So he was here, but he's bailing on us because he's at the meat church apparently this morning. Pork church, I guess. I don't know.
John, enjoy your juicy butt.
Yeah. We're going to leave that there. 45 did say he lives in a motor home, so he makes that unjust claim because he can't afford the electric bill if he uses AC.
Hope you have some shade, brother.
Find some shade, yeah. Well, we didn't have AC yesterday. Fortunately, it never got too hot yesterday.
Yeah, because it's a wet heat here in Texas. I walk outside the RV and it's like, oh, wow, I just jumped into a swimming pool.
Absolutely. Well, I don't have any major projects going on. I have the Allervites from Radioddity, which Steve, you and I talked about.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to connect up to them, because do not PTT. It's against the law. It's against the rules.
Yeah, against the rules.
Rules and laws.
And I don't really know how to approach talking about them even, because it's like, I don't know. And you guys, I think I've seen other videos with the Allervite on YouTube, but Steve's right. It violates Part 90. It's not a Part 90 radio. Is that what you were telling me?
It's not a 97 or a 95 or a 90. It's a completely uncertified radio. It's also not type accepted for anything. So here's the deal. It transmits from 400 to 480. So if you keep your foot out of it, you can operate within some of the weird edge cases of the rule book. I guess like, 433 is the ISM band. So you can do stuff on that band with it. But also it transmits on the lower 400s, supposedly. I haven't tested it. And the lower 400s are emergency personal locator beacons, EPIRBs, things like that. And then it'll transmit in the upper 400s. So it's 400 to 480. It'll transmit in the upper 400s, which is like public safety and maritime emergency type stuff, I think.
Yep.
So we're in this weird gray area, and it has a non-standard antenna connector. So in order to be legal for FRS, no keypad and non-removable antenna. It doesn't have a keypad. It has a removable antenna. In order to be legal for GMRS, it's not allowed to do some other things like transmit outside of FRS and GMRS bands, which it can do. So it's not type accepted for GMRS. As a ham, you can do anything you want with it as long as you have the ability to connect to a dummy load and verify that it's clean, or connect it to a test device and verify that it's clean, or otherwise make it clean. But it's got a screw-on, non-coaxial style, like non-SMA style antenna. And at 480 megahertz, the jumper wire from the screw to the tiny SA is a quarter wave on 480, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's a strange little device.
It's in a weird area.
And it's app
It
driven.
does do some cool stuff. So it'll do app stuff like Jim's talking about. So off grid, but on phone. So the phone is a control surface, not connecting you to the internet. It'll also do Zell, which will allow you to talk, PTT over cell style with the handheld, speaker mic type looking thing.
But
and
that's
then it does
using the phone as the transport layer.
Right. So also, it is off grid, but it is also on grid if you wanted it to be. And then it'll transmit pictures, which we don't know the encoding or the encryption or the both. It's not saying that it's not publicly available, just we don't know what it is. So we can't comment on that. So it's a really weird, I can't ethically review it until I can get a dummy load on it kind of thing. And I don't know how to get a dummy load on it without turning it into an unintentional radiator. So across the board, it's weird. You got some housekeeping, Jim.
Yeah, I do. It's a strange little device. I mean, I think it has a niche, but I'm not sure what that niche is yet. Marvin, thank you for the $10 super chat. Exactly right. Honor the fallen.
Yep.
Was there anybody before Marvin? Nope, that was it. And then we have a 1999 super chat from Boston Johnny, who is begging a boon because he was late. So he's in the back queue, I'm sure. And John, it was great to hang out with you at Hamfest. That was awesome. You and Dennis were great housemates. What's his name was too. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were there. Chuck Miller, thank you for the $2 super chat. Good morning to you, sir, and happy Memorial Day weekend. That's right. There's some subtlety in it, Eric, and I think some of them just don't see the subtlety.
Yes.
We're going to move on from that, but yeah, concur. Absolutely. So I don't know. I mean, I've got a pair of them, and like Steve, I'm like, I don't know what to do with these exactly, because anything I do is, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be 3 or 4 people at least that will see me do a video on them and then leave angry comments about China hate, which whatever it is, what it is. And it's not this and it's not that. And how can you do that? And hams everywhere crying. And I've had my license since 1941, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, it's just.
I've used the radio 5 times over 41 years, but I've had a license since, 41 years ago.
And I don't know that it's worth the 500 views I might get off of it. I don't know. I don't know. I might do what I call a hand jiggling review of it. And
I mean, it's news,
but it is news, but it's just weird. And Steve mentioned all the points. We've talked about this before offline, but he nailed all the points on this thing, and it's, well, offline from the show, Steve.
Yeah, so if you can figure out a way to convert a unknown length screw, because it's recessed inside the radio body shroud, into a BNC connector or an SMA connector or something,
right?
Let me know. Something that's shorter than a quarter wave on something that's shorter than a transmitting element on even a bad transmitting element on 400 and some megahertz on 70 centimeters. Then I can test it out a little bit. Because I mean, if it's clean on the ham bands, it's ham usable.
Right. It's just kind of hard to test it with that non-standard.
It's a Baofeng, so there's an even 75% chance it's not clean on the ham bands.
I'd say it's more 60-40. 60-40. You decide which side the clean side and the dirty side is, but it's less than 75. I mean, the Baofeng Mini, right? Other than a couple of units, everybody else has seen these things and they're fine. Everyone I've touched has been absolutely fine. So Sarah has been a member for 7 months. Thank you. And This is her favorite Sunday morning activity. She sits in the back pew where all the cool kids are. And, awesome. Let's see. We handed
Lee wants
out
stickers.
I got to get the site working. And I've actually been busy at work chasing down some problems. So I have not had time to work on the site. I got like 14 things I'm jiggling, and none of them are getting done, unfortunately, as fast as I want. The site will be up soon. Yes, there will be back Pew Crew stickers on there. I would say, when is this? The 23rd, 24th of May? Hopefully by the middle of June.
Jim giving himself a deadline. How precious.
I got to, or I'll never get it done. If I keep saying soon, it'll be October, and it'll still be soon.
Well, it's really hard for the price of the stickers to make an entire at-cost website to host selling the stickers at cost.
Right.
It's going to, $1.55 in shipping plus, running the site for $20-some a month plus yada, yada, yada. It's expensive.
Right. Well, I've got some other things I want to get on the site as well, but there's all the back end stuff that has to be done. And I'm using Shopify, but I still have to get a lot of things set up. I got the financial garbage set up. That's all good because it's just me, but it's a pain in the butt. So
Shopify is the best of the worst.
Yeah, they all have their issues. Cleveland, you're exactly right. Angry comments are engagement. That is true.
It makes us sad, though. I has a sad.
Steve gets a lot of sads because apparently crazy people watch Steve's channel very frequently.
Well, I make wild, bold claims that happen to be true, and people want to argue with me that the thing that I showed and demonstrated was true was actually false. And I'm like, dude, I proved it.
Well, what's funny is a lot of them, and more on Steve's channel than mine. I get a few of them, but Steve has a much larger audience than I do. But they don't watch the video. They maybe watch the hook, and then they click off and start pounding their keyboards in anger and send crazy comments. And there was one guy, and I don't want to mention it, and I don't know that I remember all the details. The one that we shared the other day, Thursday or Friday. The engineer guy.
They're all engineers who have been hams for 30 years and don't know how to turn caps lock off and think that whatever it is that. What was the video that they were complaining about? Do you remember?
No, I don't. We talked about it, and I watched the video to make sure you weren't lying to the public, and you were correct. But he didn't he missed the context of the whole thing. Steve explained exactly what he was talking about. This guy heard one or two statements and jumped the shark completely and went off the rails and told Steve he was crazy. Look in the Hayden Jim T.O. channel.
I'm looking.
That's where you were talking about it. And it's like, just watch the video, dude. Watch the whole video because it'll help you understand. And Steve and me both have snarky, offbeat senses of humor. Just saying.
Yeah. So the one that I get the most comments on, the ICOM 880H radio, on the back of it, it has a government mandated sticker.
That's the one.
That says that you're not allowed to receive, which is the tricky part, you're not allowed to receive anything on the old analog cellular networks in the 800 megahertz. So you're not allowed to modify the radio in any way that would allow you to receive those signals, or you're committing an FCC rule violation. And I'm trying to use rule and law properly here because it's not a law, it's just a rule.
Right.
And a lot of people know from pre-1980 something that you were legally allowed to receive anything over the airwaves, period. And you could do, you could receive the signal and listen to it and hear it and do whatever you wanted to do, as long as you didn't hurt somebody else with it. Then one of our illustrious elites got in trouble because somebody overheard something and posted it that he had said. And so now, because Congress is better than all of us, they passed a rule that said you cannot intercept analog cell phone communications. And then shortly thereafter, like, that all went away. Analog cell phones disappeared, digital came in, encryption shows up, and now it's harder to listen in. You can still hear it. And then sometimes if you play really hard, you can do a little bit more than just hear the digital scramble. But this guy was like, he skipped the entire pinned comment about some other guy that went apoplectic, all caps, saying that I was wrong. I'm like, why would the government mandate a sticker worldwide? You know, plus also go do your homework. You know, I was still right.
I mean, it was a super old radio.
Said the same thing.
Back in the 90s,
in the
it was
80s.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I may or may not have seen a modified. I didn't do it. I may or may not have seen a modified Radio Shack Pro 2006 scanner with diode D6 cut that would actively monitor the cell band frequencies back in the day. But that was analog cell back in the day, like during the Clinton administration.
And it was a short clip from a bigger video talking about playing with the radios. And
yeah. And I agree. Who put that comment back up? That was great. Coder Jim, absolutely, brother. If I don't like I just click off and move on with my life. I don't sit there rage hating and coming up with 3 paragraphs of all caps comments to poop on you, your family, your offspring. It's like, God, move on, dude.
So there's this thing called main character syndrome. And at first I thought it was like, well, duh, of course I believe I'm the main character of my own life. No. Main character syndrome is when you believe you're the main character of everybody else's life. So a lot of these people, and you can kind of see it, a lot of these people when they're watching, they look at it like, this video was specifically made for me and didn't match my own personal dogma, and therefore it's wrong. Like, no, the video was made for an entirely different purpose and may or may not have something to do with you, but it was, like somebody will argue a vertical antenna is better than a dipole. Great. I can't demonstrate how to use
a vertical antenna is a compromise. You shouldn't use a compromised antenna. I only use resonant antennas.
Right. So the video is about how to install a dipole antenna in an RV park in a mobile setup without pissing off all the other campers. And it's like, well, you should use a vertical. I would love to use a vertical, but in a video about how to set up a dipole, I'm not going to show you how to set up a dipole by setting up a vertical.
Yeah. That's not what the video is about. You missed the whole title thing.
The title, the thumbnail, the picture of the dipole, the RV park.
Right. Steve's, I'm sure, very clever intro where he talked about the entire premise of the video.
Yeah. The hook.
Yeah. The hook. Yeah. See, in YouTube, we have our own language. Premise is hook in YouTube speak.
Gotta hook them, or else they leave.
Keith? All the time. But I didn't mod that scan. It fell off the back of the truck. I just plugged it in and things started happening.
It just happened. I mean, I was scanning. I heard things that I probably didn't want to.
William, we've mentioned IDEN on here before, and I don't know the status of IDEN everywhere. Nextel was IDEN, and as far as I know, they're gone completely.
They're part of T-Mobile now.
Are they? But I don't think T-Mo's using IDEN at all. And here in the Southeast, the Southern companies, which is power companies generally and some other associated industries, the Southern companies is a regional conglomerate. They have their own IDEN network called SouthernLink, and it came out around the same time Nextel did. And as far as I know, it's still active. The power company guys all have IDEN beep beep radios. And we played with them in the fire department for a while. It just wasn't cost effective, and they didn't add that much value to anything we did, so we quit using them. But yeah, I don't know. I know almost nothing about IDEN. I know it was digital. I'm almost positive it was completely digital, but other than that, I don't know nothing about it. It was never super popular other than people on Nextel and the Southern companies down here.
Get a new member, Jim.
Appreciate it, Jake Bechtold. I hope I said your last name right because I'm terrible at English sometimes. Jake, thank you very much for becoming a member. I certainly appreciate it, sir.
What does he get for being a member?
He gets to hang out with us as much as he wants, mostly. So
there's more than that.
There's more than that. There is a private members-only chat in our Discord, and there's a link to that Discord in the video description below. There's some other things we got to talk about too. That's the Toads Discord. We want all of you to be a member, so even if you're not a channel member, you're missing out.
I wonder if it's the world's largest ham radio club.
It is the world's
5,000 members, 6,000 members.
5,000 plus for sure. I'm not sure about 6,000, but yeah. We are officially, really, KT0ADS, the world's largest ham radio club, at least as far as our marketing people know.
Right. Let's see what AI thinks about that.
Ask them. And then we have a private members-only Zoom call once a month, generally the first or second Wednesday of the month. So there'll be one coming up, not this coming week, week after next. We'll do that. That's typically on a Wednesday night around 7 Central. We don't talk about anything in particular. We talk about whatever y'all want to talk about and schmooze. So it's a lot of schmoozing, and we do talk about radio stuff and tech and whatever. So that's it. Jake, again, thank you for becoming a member. I'm not Mr. Beast, so it's like you're not going to get a free car or anything for becoming a channel member. I would love to do that, but Dave, Frequency Frontiers Dave, has been a member for 12 months. New antennas ruin the art of frustration. That sounds very zen, David. You just get tired of one, you move on to a next one, I guess, is what he's saying. But in any case, thank you for being a member, Dave. LICW, they won an award at Hamvention, and I don't think it was for being the largest club. I think it was for being awesome or something like that. So they might be bigger than Toads.
Okay, so the report is in. The AI considers the ARRL to be a ham radio club, and I can kind of see that. I can kind of agree with that. So I removed all of the the RSGB and the ARRL, and I removed those kinds of things. So next up would be Toads at 5,000 plus. Let me get the official number on that. Quarter Century Wireless Association is what they say number 2. And of course, this is all based on publicly available information and that kind of thing. And Yankee Clipper Contest Club is about 350. And then several hundred in the Potomac Valley Radio Club, and the Orlando Amateur Radio Club is another 200-ish. But as of right now, Toads has 5,944 members. And membership is free. All you have to do is join the Discord, and that's how we count that up. No dues, no nothing. Show up. If you want to use the club call, go for it. Just let me know. If you're doing a Parks on the Air activation, send me the logs, and I'll upload them to POTA for us. We have worked all states from... I don't know. Well, we've activated all states is the word I was looking for. Because the next thing would be to work all states from all states, which we've probably also done at this point.
Or close to it, yeah. Yeah, channel members get an ICOM bracket with any mobile radio purchase from ICOM, because ICOM ain't got one. I had to go get a stamping machine and make nothing but black anodized brackets and sell them for like 1/3 the price of what ICOM sells them for. I could clean up on that scam. So anyway, yeah, K-Toads, and Steve's not kidding, or soda. He didn't mention soda, but absolutely.
Bob's saying HRCC has 35,000. Yes.
But we're still his favorite.
I appreciate that, Bob.
Are they officially
HRCC had a radio club? Like we're an officially sanctioned club with a call sign.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about, not just the Toads.
If we have to split hairs to win, we will split hairs to win.
We will split them 3 times if we need to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just having a Discord server that makes the club. The club is an officially sanctioned, registered, affiliated club.
KT0ADS is our call sign. So yeah, and not to take anything away from Josh's Discord, that's not what we're talking about. So, because yeah, he's been doing it a while and he's got quite a group on there. Josh has got such a big Discord, he has to have like 30 or 40 moderators. We have 5 guys who randomly show up occasionally to do any kind of moderation. You know, when we remember, kind of thing. Dave, we do not have a K-Toad sticker. Maybe Steve could generate one.
I could. Yeah, maybe.
Because he did a great job with the Back Pew crew. All right, on to
speaking of news.
Hit it.
Real quick. I have been impersonated. Rumors of my demise are false.
Yes.
But there are at least 3. There's KM9G period, underscore KM9G, and KM9G underscore, and there might be a 4th now, because I think there was KM9G underscore. But basically, you get this message on Discord from someone who's trying to be me and did a fairly decent job of impersonating until they actually open their mouth and speak, and they say, hello, username. How are you doing? I deem it ideal to reach out to know how personal trading has been going as of recent. Hope you're making successful trades, like 95% success in your trading, or have any setbacks. So, I wouldn't talk to you about trading because I'm a ham radio guy. I am not a certified financial advisor, CFP, fiduciary, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So there's like 4 of them out there. It's fairly obvious when they start talking to you. Don't engage in any type of commerce with them that you didn't solicit first. Right. Like if you want to buy a radio for me, I'm going to send you a message telling you, I have a radio for sale and this is the cost. And obviously you initiated that. But if you just get a message from someone who claims to be me asking about personal trading, not me.
Right, William? And I don't think he's ever used the word deem in a sentence anyway. I'm just saying. No. The real Steve hasn't, that I'm aware of. And he also gets you're confused sometimes.
I type fast because, it's private chat behind the scenes. I figure there's a little bit of grace between friends. But no, I would be wrong.
There's a lot of snark between friends. That's what there is, buddy.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. So some stuff I wanted to pop up and mention here, and this document that you're looking at is linked in the show notes below if you want to explore these further. I don't have links for all these web pages. This is, let me see if I can plus this up a little bit more. Nope, that's not going to plus up. Let's see. Well, whatever. The link to this is below in the description of the video. We have a lot of de-expeditions coming up.
Go away, Johnny.
Going to a lot of interesting places. Some of them, are more remote than the others. So the South Cook Islands is a fair piece away from civilization. Palau is also in the Pacific, I believe. I don't know if I said that right. Rwanda is Africa on the continent, and I'm not sure what part of Africa. I want to say central-ish. Lord Howe Island, I have no idea. Market Reef, no idea. But anyway, there are a ton of de-expeditions going on in the this looks like the next month and a half, 2 months. So if you want some rare DX contacts, hit these guys up. And I got to say, and I'm not taking anything away from the Bouvet people, but a lot of these de-expeditions do not get nearly the publicity that Bouvet does. And, I personally think, again, no personal reflection on those guys. I think they're crazy for going to Bouvet. Okay, I'm just saying it. I mean, no, just no. You're like, you might as well go to the moon. It's the same difference. But anyway. I
could be convinced to go, but I'm a little crazier than Jim is.
A fair amount, I would think. But, and the weather is so iffy on Bouvet anyway. All to make a DX contact, but...
Here's the deal. I think that John should create an L expedition, a lazy expedition to Anegada. We'll just all operate out of his house. I might actually be convinced to get a passport for that one.
Slosby, what is your V2PV? What's your full call sign when you're on Anegada? Because you have to use a slash. Because the government has looked into your background and will not let you have a legitimate BVI call sign. They know you're one of those Americans who threw tea in the harbor is probably what happened. But
he's not actually watching, right? He's just dropping in for comments every so often.
Yeah. Well, he'll watch it on replay probably.
Yeah.
No, I did not know that. Anyway, all these de-expeditions are coming up. This document is linked on my Google Docs. There it is, VP2V. So John will be there from the 6th to the 20th of June, and he'll keep us updated in Discord, and we'll mention it on the show here, obviously, to keep you guys in the loop. But John has a pretty solid setup down there, so he ought to be able to do some good contacts, so you guys can get Anegada on a Inagata de Vida.
Right.
All right. Let's moving on. So, printers, 3D printers. Steve has already done a video or two on this. The entire YouTube 3D printerverse has done videos on this, specifically some laws about trying to lock down 3D printers so they can't print ghost pew-pews because it makes somebody's pants get twitchy or something. Never mind, it's been legal in this country to manufacture your own firearms since.
Right.
I don't know. I think since we put the British to the curb. No offense to any British.
I've got the scars to prove it.
Right. So the whole thing is just show law anyway, and it's not technically possible. Dennis, 8060M, and I talked about this a lot last week when we were riding around in Ohio. California has the goofy micro-stamping law. Not even technically possible. They basically want a serial number every bullet. It's insane, and it's just not possible. And the same with getting all the 3D printer manufacturers to recognize that you're printing, an auto sear for an AR platform or an auto sear for a Glock pistol or whatever, or you're printing something in the shape of it. Last time I looked, Nerf blasters look kind of like real guns. Airsoft guns, other than having an orange thing on the end, look like real guns.
Well, there's an antenna launcher device that you can print that's got a pistol grip on it, and you put a couple ounce, lead sinker in the basket and pull it back and shoot it up into a tree, and that could actually hurt somebody, and that will be banned, even though it's for ham radio antenna launching, because it has the pistol grip on it. But for those of you that don't understand firearms to the intricate level that a armorer might, and I'm not picking on anybody specifically, but an auto sear in an AR platform is a bent piece of metal. It looks a little U-shaped, maybe a little Z-shaped, depending on which flavor of it you get. Right. So this piece of one less than an inch wide, less than 2 inches across, quarter-inch thick, bent U-shaped device will prevent you from 3D printing, which also, by the way, could be a picture hook. It could have plenty of reasons, but as far as the way it goes, you take this model and you bring it into your software to do what they call slicing, to create the code for the printer, which is just coordinates and turn nozzle on instructions. And it's just geometry. So anything that's cylindrical shaped, anything that's handle grip shaped, anything that vaguely looks like, it might, carry rubber bands or something, an antenna winder, something along those lines, could be considered a firearm, and your printer will be prevented from printing it at this time. And in the future, you might actually be reported for doing so.
Right. And John, no, they haven't. That's the frame and receiver thing that has gone. That's
in California they have, I think. Well,
yeah, that might be a state thing for the blue states, the non-free states, Illinois, California. I have no idea. I live in the 100% free state of Alabama, so don't shoot anybody. That's our rule here, and you're cool. All good.
Yeah. You don't hurt me, I won't hurt you.
It's open carry. It's constitutional carry. An armed society is a polite society. You can never tell who's carrying, so don't be stupid. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Or as we said in the military, F around and find out. So,
right. This one here, what Sarah says is the deal. So am I going to get am I going to get a 3D printer? Am I going to get a computer? Am I going to learn how to make these things or make them myself from scratch to print them out of plastic, to do something nefarious with it? Or should I just go to the street corner and get a used firearm for $40 from the other criminal that got it from somebody else for $40?
Right.
Occam's razor. The easiest is usually the truth.
That's right. John's flexing with his SOT and his FFL Type 7, but damn it. Wish you lived here, John. Yeah, and there's multiple videos that talk about this. Keith is right. Joel telling the 3D printing nerd has got some. Loyal Moses kind of went off the rails doing a ton of videos about it, and other of the 3D printing channels have mentioned it. And Steve had a fairly well thought out video on it too, even though he's not actually doesn't have a 3D printer plugged in and working. Oh, that's precious. You showed us some filament samples.
Yeah, this is the filament that came with my 3D printer. What am I going to do with this amount of filament?
You can print clips.
Make myself
for
a headache.
Spool.
Yeah, I'm not even going to take it out of the bag, because to me, by the time I get all 4 of these filaments loaded into the filament system, and I hit print, I'm going to be able to get a penny size device out of the other end of the 3D print process. Congratulations, Shane. That's our motto, Shane.
Elodie,
the red hair icon gave it away.
He might print a Benchy.
Yeah, I think that's actually specifically what it's for. Once you go through the process of connecting it to the internet and phoning home and asking permission to print, it says, would you like to print a Benchy? And it prints a highly optimized 4-color Benchy, proving that the 4-color changer system works.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so what I wanted to talk about, and I just was giving you that other stuff for background because it's a thing. I know California's deep into it, and I don't keep up with all the regulations because honestly, it makes me tired. And I want to say Oregon and maybe another state is flirting with that, and it might be the entire left coast. I'm not 100% sure. So if I offended anybody by throwing your state in that mix, I don't know. I'm going to throw Illinois under the bus because they're just as bad as California because of the Chicago area. The rest of the state is red, but anyway. So this is more targeted at bamboo than the man and his laws. Are you really advertising on my show for your website?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a little greasy.
Yeah, it is.
Shameless.
Look at that.
Don't California my three. That is not what Steve looks like in real life either. So, yeah.
No, I look better.
That guy's a little more buff than you are, buddy.
I just hide it under loose clothing.
I
don't want anybody to see what I'm working with.
Right. You're keeping the babes from attacking you. So,
I gotta fend them off.
What is going on with bamboo? Bamboo has, well, frankly, and at the risk of offending somebody, stepped on their dick with both feet. The bamboo software, the bamboo slicer software is based, it's open sourced, more or less. We'll get there. It's open source, and it's based on Prusa Slicer, which is completely open source, which is based on older software called Slicer, SILSC3R, I think was the name of it. I never used Slicer. I have no idea. But that is the provenance that comes with Bamboo Studio. And for a while, all was good. Sunshine, puppies, rainbows. It was a wonderful day. And Bamboo makes good products. Absolutely zero complaints about the functionality of their products. But Bamboo is going full stupid, completely full stupid on some things and they're doubling down. So because their software is open source, it's published, it's available, I believe, on GitHub and probably other places. And that means it can be used in other projects as long as credit is given. Parts of this software, are from Bamboo, published under the AGPL licensing system. And I'm not a licensing expert, nor do I play one on TV. And I'm not one of those either. There are links to much more information about this in the show description below. Louis Rossman, who is a really good consumer advocate kind of guy and has a huge channel and a great following, and he's very well spoken, did a video on this, and the 3D printer universe has also picked this thread up too, and it's really, if this was a 1930s black and white monster movie, the villagers are walking to the bamboo castle right now with torches and pitchforks at this point. So when Bamboo last year said, we don't want Orca Slicer to use our printer, if you want to talk to our printer and use the cloud features of our printers, and this is the important key here, you have to install this piece of software. It's like middleware called Bamboo Connect. And I'm probably getting some of the details wrong. Don't tell me about it. Go watch the Louis Rossman video and read the links I've posted in the description below. So they did that. That Bamboo Connect software is not open source. It is proprietary to Bamboo Studio. What started this whole thing is another developer looked at their code and figured out, based on their code, how to talk to their printer when it's in cloud printer mode, and that made Bamboo mad. And they got butthurt. And then they sent the guy a C&D letter and told him, you need to stop it or we're going to lawyer your head. And so he was like, no mas, I'm done, forget about it. Well, Louis Rossman...
Yeah, you're bigger than me and have more money.
Right. Well, they could lose and it won't hurt them. If this guy loses, he's out, God knows.
That's the problem with our legal system right now. You can be right and be in the right and still lose because you don't have the ability to pay for the dream team lawyers.
Right. So anyway, he he pulled the code down. Louis Rossman found out about it. Louis has posted it on his own GitHub. Link below. Go fork it. If you don't know what forking means, it basically means download it and play with it yourself, because it'll make
that wasn't
Bamboo
a covered
mad.
up 4-letter word. That was
right.
a color, a term, industry term of color or something like that. I forget what they call it.
Yeah, it was vernacular. It was industry vernacular.
That works.
So,
that's easier.
Yeah.
Harder to spell, but
right. So Louis posted the code that Bamboo said no, and Louis said, Bamboo, I posted the code. If you're going to sue me, bring it. And now the Software Freedom Conservancy has gotten into this, and they're basically a legal consumer rights kind of group based around software rights. So they're in this, and they are actively trying to reverse engineer the Bamboo Connect piece of code, and they're going to publish it, because the crux of all of this, and again, watch Lewis's video, because he says this much more eloquently than I do with documentation, is that because Bamboo Studio is open source, it can't use other pieces that are not open sourced. If they pull in someone else's code, their own, for example, it needs to be open source because it's touching the open source code. So you can't have a proprietary piece that you're hiding, a black box, in the middle of all this other open source code, and that is the whole crux of the thing. And Rossman, and I don't know if he's a lawyer or not, but again, consumer advocate kind of guy, they and the Software Freedom Conservancy all think that Bamboo is wrong and that they are violating the AGPL licensing terms. And yes, Sarah, exactly, it's been forked over 4,000 times. So there's 4,000 other rogues out there besides myself who have gotten it. And I'm running Rogue on my A1 Mini. I'll say it right now, Bamboo. I don't care.
Come at me, Bamboo.
Come at me, bro. So they can't really stop that. This is like when 3D printed came out. Same kind of thing. A lot of government tried to stop it and, enjoin it from being distributed, but it's information, and once it's out there. And then this is covered in the license, the AGPL license. So whether you like Bamboo printers or not, they are mechanically, functionally excellent printers. I have one, and it's the bottom of the line Bamboo as far as that goes. But they're great printers. But Bamboo's licensing software scheme is sketchy. You don't have to use the cloud printing mode to use the printer. The gotcha comes if you want to use the app on your phone that lets you control the printer, send prints to it, slice prints in their cloud area, and monitor your printer through the cameras and everything, then your printer has to be in what I'm calling cloud mode. You can put the printer in LAN only mode, and it will print fine on your LAN without Bamboo. Mine is in a VLAN that doesn't have internet access to China, so I don't have that problem. But
mine will never be connected. I'm just gonna USB flash drive it, sneaker net everything.
Well, it's not like you have to walk far either. I mean, and I can do that too. I can do that
right
too.
There.
I just had national technical means to block them. And this isn't a China hate thing. This is a Bamboo
There could
thing.
be a problem with your slicer computer being connected to the internet.
Potentially, but I'm not using Bamboo's app. I'm using Orca Slicer.
Right.
The Rogue version.
Right.
Rogue One. So there's that.
Put it in the skiff.
Yeah, it's in the skiff. That's right. So I love 3D printing. Y'all know that because we've talked about it before on this channel. I think we've talked about it on Steve's channel a couple times. I've done a couple of videos on it. And when I was with Carr, we did a video or two with 3D printing. But Bamboo is just being sketchy, and it's all licensing stuff. It's as a company.
And it's not the first time they've been sketchy either.
Right. So anyway. And I have 4 other printers, none of which are Bamboos. I have a Cheetah Plus 4, that's the big one. I have an original Creality K1. I have a Centauri Carbon and an Anycubic Cobra S1. And for the most part, they're all fine, So it's Bamboo and their sketchy licensing and being so flagrant about it.
Thanks, Keith.
And, Anyway, Patrick dropped a $5 super chat. Thank you, Patrick, my brother.
Thank you, Patrick.
If you were at Hamvention, I did not see you, but I saw a lot of your hats walking around. I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Right, John? I do not have a 3D printer problem. I can stop anytime. That was the other. Who said that? Yeah, we changed. That
John
was the
says
other
you
John
have
that,
one. Yeah.
John said that.
John says you've got one for sale.
Well, I was going to sell the Anycubic because I want to buy a new printer. But selling it and shipping it would be problematic for anybody who was wanting to buy one because I couldn't eat the shipping on that thing. They can buy a new one for less, including shipping, than I can sell a used one. And
I think
not
Robert should
include
buy
shipping.
it. I think he should pay you in Skyline chili.
No, never. No Skyline chili. And Bricker's rocking that ancient tech in 3D printer years. That Ender 3 is,
It does the thing.
It does the thing.
It was ended
That's
3
right.
times ago.
Yeah. Yes. Cag Mitch, yes it is. Love the Cheaty. I have not plugged in the Cheaty box yet because you got to get access to the printer, and I just haven't pulled it out and put it on a workbench where I could get to the back of it to get the box hooked up. But the printer is perfect. I've not had any problems with that. So, Sarah mentioned Bam Buddy. That is correct. You can do a lot of things with that, and I have not explored that. Again, this was more about the licensing crap. And all the links to all the stuff that we talked about today are in the description below, y'all. So, you didn't see my printer. You probably did see several old bed slingers, I'm sure, Hamman. Yeah, Ender 3s. That might be the one Chris had, and he was trying to sell it. Maybe Chris bought it at Hamvention for $25. And Patrick is saying, design nothings themselves. Yeah. Shut up, Patrick. Don't judge
Do you feel
me,
seen,
Patrick.
Jim?
I do feel seen. Yeah, I'm not much of a designer. I can make a box. It's on the to-do list. The to-do list is this long, and I got that much time. So.
Oh, yeah. My to-do list has its own to-do list.
Yeah, your to-do list, requires a manager. You probably got more on yours than I have on mine. Exactly right, Eric.
Thanks, Vern.
Exactly right. So, and Vern sent a link about the whole cease and desist issue with Bamboo and their code. Yes, that's what the links are below as well, Vern. You might have come in late. I don't know if you heard me say that. And there's any number of videos on YouTube about the whole thing. I haven't seen anything super new propagate other than the Software Freedom Conservancy jumping into the fray on this. And they pledged money. Rossman has pledged like $10,000 or $15,000 to help lawyer up to fight Bamboo over this should they decide to go to court. And honestly, I think Bamboo might blink on it. I don't know. That's my guess. That's not based on anything, but they have such a large following. I got to think that they're really just doubling down on pissing off their customer base. And in my opinion, people who 3D print tend to be very individualistic and don't like to get told by the man what they're doing.
Well, apparently ham radio is going to make a comeback. Yeah, that's me. I definitely feel seen and proud of it. Ham radio is starting to make a little bit of a comeback because everything today is connected, and phones home and reports and tattletales on you and all that kind of jazz.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the things you can do with ham radio is, besides having the license and identifying yourself, be off grid and communicate worldwide and do things, and find like-minded people that also want to do that.
Vern, you got to keep up, buddy. Yes, it's in the link below. That was like a week ago. Yes, sir. I've been following this since it popped up. Vern slid in late. Y'all don't. Everybody turn around and look at Vern in the back pew and judge him for being so late to the show. Howdy, Vern. It was good seeing you and Renee at the show, buddy.
It was better seeing Renee. It always is.
Mean, she's prettier than Vern. I'm just saying.
That doesn't take much. You're prettier than Vern, Jim.
Well, that's true. I am.
I'm actually within shooting distance of Vern, so I got to be careful.
Oh, that's true. He could walk out in the backyard and bust a cat.
He probably already is.
Yeah, well, Vern hung out with us at the Airbnb. We spent a couple hours jaw-jacking there. Nice. And had dinner with him and had a great time. Let's see. He's always late to the party, and it's always better to see Renee. Yes, yes, it is. Anyway, Dave said Vern seems like a smart guy. He can't tell in person, though. Anyway. Oh, Vern's threatening to turn off your power. That could be a problem.
I promise, Dave, I won't use you as a human shield between Vern and me.
Right. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I think we're actually a few minutes over time. Thank you all for being here. Check out those links below, please. If you're interested in following the bamboo drama, start with the Louis Rossmann video. It's linked. A link to Louis's GitHub with the forbidden code is on there. It's been shared on multiple other GitHubs too. I just got Louis's.
Can't link them all 4,000 of them.
Can't link them all. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much. Have a great day. Appreciate it. See you. So I'm going to hit the button.
See you Monday.
See you. What are we doing tomorrow night before I hit the button?
We are hacking Wi-Fi with the Zhao from Seed Studios,
cool.
and Mesh Dealer Dave's going to be there to help us do it. And we're going to do a live deauth attack. Make Wi-Fi things do things Wi-Fi things don't like doing. But it's all ethical because we're hacking ourselves, so it's okay.
Right.
But we'll show you how to do it.
See you tomorrow at 7 Central.